Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Howard. This is a documentary that's from 2020. It's an hour and 36 minutes long, and it is about Howard Ashman. Do you know that name? I mean, I've heard the name before, obviously. I've sung his songs. You have sung his songs. You know his music, his lyrics. You know his lyrics. Because along with Alan Menken, he's created the songs that we know from Disney animated films during its renaissance, during its return to glory. If you sung part of part of your world, um, Prince Ali, uh, be our guest. Just my brain's completely blanking on all the different songs. I just wanted to pick the best ones, and I honestly didn't get enough of them off my tongue. Anyway, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. He is the man behind the lyrics of the songs that get caught in our heads for the last 30 years of Disney animated films. And this is his story, told not just by friends and colleagues and family, but also his own words. They used archive footage, recordings from back in the 80s and 90s of his time coming up from off Broadway and all the way into the recording sessions that were done during Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. And obviously, you should probably know by now, if you didn't already figure it out by my saying archived footage, he's no longer with us. I realize I'm telling. Don't get mad if I'm telling something that you already know. It's I don't know everything myself, and I didn't know enough about this man's life. I know he was referenced. I know that we've had another documentary here a little while back that referenced him, but didn't focus on him. This is very much centered around him, and uh, it's uh, it's about a boy who grows up who doesn't want to play baseball, doesn't want to fish, but he likes telling stories, and even more so, he likes telling stories in the form of music. And he eventually comes out as gay. And I honestly, if I had, this is Pride Month, if I could have planned this better, I would have focused like just a week's worth of stuff that is just centric to Pride Month. But this fits perfectly in. I'm so glad we got this in. It randomly picked this for this month, for this day, and it shows that his struggle in coming up in off Broadway, doing a musical version of a film he loved as a child, Little Shop of Horrors, made a name for himself, and came up out of nowhere. People didn't expect, like, in a bad part of town. Like, there weren't a lot of great part of towns in New York City at the time, except for the really, really, really rich parts. Um, Even Broadway, trust me, did not have a Disney store back in the 70s and 80s. So he came up and got some notoriety, especially after the songs he made transferred themselves into the Little Shop of Horrors film, starring Rick Moranis and Steve Martin and so many others. Um, and so, yeah, suddenly they're like, he didn't always have big successes. He had a few failures here and there. But when you realize that this is a gay man making his way up in the business at a time when friends, people all around him are dying of AIDS, it's not exactly a complete story of triumph, like a non-stop story of triumph. No, there's a lot of loss along the way, and as you could probably guess, at one point he is diagnosed as such. So, at the times when he's writing the words, just what most people, I mean, you think about the songs that we know and love from each of those films. it seemed to just pour out of him. This is a man of great uh, talent, writing talent, musical talent, and of course, working with Alan Menken, just created music that is going to live on so far beyond him. And yeah, it shows a pretty big struggle. That out of the struggle comes some pretty amazing work. So yeah, it's not a downer film at all. It's not a downer. Oh well, he's a poor guy. He did it anyway. No, it's actually it's inspiring. If nothing else, it's inspiring. It's tragic in some ways because you realize, man, he was really hitting a stride at a time. I can't imagine the things he would have done. And by the way, I'm going to tell you this: if you put the pieces together, they don't say it outright, um, but I would have bet you that we would have gotten Frozen a decade or two earlier than we got it with his music. It would have been a completely different film, I think. But he what is it, the Snow Queen, which is what Frozen's based off of. I think it's a Hans Christian Andersen story. I think I could be wrong, but I often am. But yeah, the Snow Queen was something that he had interest in early on with when it comes to adapting stories. I don't know if it was a Disney thing that he was thinking of, but I imagine that would have been thrown in the pile. And it eventually got made, though. And different writers, and still the biggest hit in the world. But at its time, would he have written "Let It Go"? I have no idea. It would have been interesting to see. There's so many things that would have been interesting to see um, coming from this man. So especially since it's Pride Month, and if you want to have an understanding of um, a life that you may not have led or are leading, so and you want to know better understand the heart, the mind, and the soul of the man who wrote the words that have come out of your mouth so many times every time you've watched these films or walked around Disneyland. You could hear the music playing in the background, or just out of nowhere you just realize, I'm singing part of your world. I'm singing singing "Kiss the Girl." You know, it's all that. It's all him. Well, and Alan Menken for the music. Always remember Alan Menken because he's a genius himself. But yeah, Howard Ashman. Howard, look this up. I could ramble on another 40 minutes, but I think I made my point. I hope. So, I am not the lyricist, the wordsmith this guy is. So, when you get a chance, I seriously, before the month is out, raise your pride flag and check out this film. Um, yeah, let's pick it. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
260.
260. Don't have to scroll far. Oh, okay. It's a movie. I've heard of it. I have not seen it, so this will be new to me. We just missed the rest of the Lego stuff because we're in the L's now here. So, we're going to be watching Lemonade Mouth. Yeah, you might be saying, I know what that is. I've seen that 1,000 times. Well, you know what? I haven't. I haven't seen everything, as we've as we've discussed in previous episodes throughout this, and this is all randomly selected, and I'm happy to. I'm discovering new things all the time. So I enjoyed this. I learned a lot, and I cannot give this man enough credit for. I mean, I saw Little Mermaid in the theaters like a billion times back in the early '90s. It made for a great date movie. So. I even saw it like on a college campus outside on the lawn or something back in the '90s, just because it was so big. They're like, oh, let's play The Little Mermaid. Yeah. Anyway, I saw it with a redhead too. Anyway, yes. So we had Lemonade Mouth tomorrow on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.